All right, y'all. Mark here. Y'all know how I do. I'm cooking books. Got my little erase board here, and doing. Just going to share some lessons with you guys. So I want to talk about soul ties. Right here. You see, I wrote soul ties and etheric chords. Soul ties leads to what's called etheric or ethereal chords. And soul ties. The Bible don't use the term soul ties, but the Bible would say one flesh. The two become one. One flesh is synonymous for soul tie, and etheric chords are a result of soul ties. And what are etheric chords? Well, etheric chords are the word etheric means non-substance, non-material, invisible, uh, astral chords, right? So now we're talking about going into other dimensions. So etheric chords, which are the result of soul ties, which is one flesh, uh, are established between people and or things. It doesn't have to necessarily be people. Right here, I got my two little people that part of my artistic work. I was never known as a great artist in terms of drawing, so got to work with me on that. But yeah, so the etheric chords are the invisible chords that we actually join with other people and or things. It could be an attachment. You make a etheric chord with drinking, with smoking, with gambling, any kind of vice. And it doesn't have to be a vice. It could be positive things. If you are in a healthy relationship, business, you can have business etheric chords, personal etheric chords. If you're in a healthy relationship, these etheric chords are actually good. And if they're color coordinated, these chords are actually color coordinated. So blue etheric chords are good. Pink, yellow, these are all good. Lower frequency etheric chords usually carry a more darkish color or reddish color, which would mean they're unhealthy chords. You're going through a breakup, uh, a, 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 a dissolution of any kind of relationship, business or personal. Your chords are going to be more in the lower frequency range, so they're going to be more reddish, grayish, darkish kind of color, and they're going to be considered dense. The density of these chords, which means they're compact. They're not ethereal. They're not light. They're very dense and they're hard to break. So let's look at some of these chords and see what they are. So here I got two little figures. Now, these lines going across represent the chords between two people. And again, if it's a healthy union, these chords are good. These are what allows you to bond. And in science, they call it covalent they call it covalent bonding or ionic bonding. But that's science. That's another level, another topic. But these chords represent these strings, these lines that I drew here, they represent the chords, the etheric chords. Now, if you notice, this over here is the female, this is the male. If it's an unhealthy relationship, the cord right here in the heart area is attached to the solar plex area of the male, right? The solar plex area is right below his navel. And I did a video and I talked about your belly button. You got to protect your belly button, folks. Very, very important, the belly button. But so the cord from the heart goes to the belly button. And the reason for that is because that's the sacral chakra, and that's responsible for a lot of your emotions, your feelings, and so on and so forth. So if it's an unhealthy relationship, the woman leaves the man, the cord is going to be still tied to his belly button. Plus, that's when your umbilical cord. Remember, your umbilical cord, the first cord you got from your mother was your umbilical cord. So when the woman leaves, the cord is going to be still attached to the man's umbilical cord, control his emotions, manipulate him, and dictate his behavior and drains his energy. So this is a cord that you gotta cut, fellas. You gotta cut it. And there's a way I'm gonna tell you guys, you gotta learn how to cut that cord. So all these other chords are all representing of ethereal chords. And again, if it's a healthy relationship, these chords are necessary, they're good. They're not bad. These chords are necessary to yoke you and bond you in your relationship. It's called covalent bonding in science, where two atoms bond together and they're unbreakable. But that's another topic. But I'm just trying to show you a comparison. So unhealthy chords does this. They drain your energy. An unhealthy cords are they kind of if you could see them, we can't see them because the retina and the cones and rods in our eyes limits us to the visible plane. So we can only see within the visible light spectrum, which is the seven color coordinated colors, but we can't see outside of the visible light spectrum. So this is why we can't see them. But if our eyes were designed different, we'd be able to see them, but we can't. So there's a device called spectroscopic scope, spectroscope, right? Spectroscope is a device that allows you to actually see these ethereal cords or the field that surrounds all of us. But anyway, so what the negative, well, we're talking about the unhealthy cords for right now. The healthy ones are good. The unhealthy ones, they drain your energy, right? So saps your energy. Uh, it impedes your growth and productivity. So it impedes your growth in terms of spirituality. It stunts your growth, and it stunts and impedes your productivity. So the kind of work you do, especially if you have your own business, or if you're an entrepreneur, it's going to drastically affect your productivity, input, output. Okay, more it'll affect both input and output. Uh, it allows others access to your energy field. So if you and someone, a business partner, you guys you had some disagreement and there's a dissolution of the business, those chords are still there that you guys had formulated because it doesn't have to be intimacy, it doesn't have to be romance. It can be business and it can be romance, both. So it allows others access to your energy field. So if the relationship has been dissolved and there's a dissolution, if you keep things around your house that the person gave you, right? You broke up with some guy and he gave you whatever and you have it around your house, you're still allowing the cords to be kept in place. And this allows access to your energy field. A person can still manipulate your energy field with their thoughts, right? They might not know they're doing it. That's the thing. This stuff works without your knowledge because we're talking about energy here. And you don't have to be an active participant, right? When I say active participant, I mean you don't have to be consciously actively participating in the manipulation and or distortion of someone's energy field. It happens organically, right? You don't. It's autopilot, so to speak. All it needs is a host, and you're the host, and whoever the other person is. Low frequency chords. Okay, low frequency chords are those chords that I spoke about earlier. High frequency chords are generally good. They're healthy chords. Low frequency chords are extremely dense, right? The reason why they're dense is because they're closer to the etheric plane, which is the Earth atmosphere. And when the more you come in to the Earth atmosphere, the more density energy becomes. Because now forms are starting to be taken on. Because to exist in our field or in our plane, which is a three-dimensional plane, you need form. So once energy, entities, thoughts begin to fall into the etheric, they start to take form. And the reason why they do that is because they have to in order to subsist or to sustain itself in a physical realm, which is where you and I are. Because all of us are thoughts, all of us. And your parents thought about having you, or whether they consciously thought about you or subconsciously thought about you, when they copulated, you came. You was the result. Your mother saw your father saw your mother, and your father said, "I like her. I want to copulate with her. I want to have a kid with her." Didn't go exactly that way, but follow me. Bear with me. You understand what I'm saying? Your mother saw your dad and say, "I like him. I want to bear his child." You were a thought. Then they copulated, and you took on form. You and I, right? So it's the same principle. So pretty much that's it. Till next time. Peace.